cycle of violence and a quest for peace. This has been the reality for generations in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. But how did we arrive at this seemingly intractable situation? The conflict between Israel and Palestine have very deep roots, going back over 100 years. In the late 1800s, more and more Jewish immigrants started arriving in the region then called Palestine. The land was extremely meaningful, both to the Jewish as well as the Arab people. As the Jewish population grew over time, the tension between Arabs and Jewish people started increasing. Things came to a head in 1947 when the United Nations proposed a plan to divide Palestine into two different states, one for the Jewish people and the other for the Arabs. This led to the first Arab-Israeli war in 1948 after Israel declared independence. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinian people had to flee or were forced out, an event they call the Nakba or a catastrophe. From the starting point of conflicting claims, this conflict has seen many cycles of violence over the decades. Major events like the 1967 Six-Day War redrew the map, with Israel taking control of the West Bank, Gaza, Golan Heights and East Jerusalem. So you can see, this long-running conflict is rooted in two people who believe they have the rightful claim over the same land. Even after more than 70 years, Israelis and Palestinians still can't find a way to make lasting peace. Many times they have tried to make peace deals, but the agreement always falls apart. The Israeli government says it needs to take tough actions like military control over Palestine. This is because they are worried about threats from the Palestinian armed groups like Hamas. But Palestinians see the Israeli settlements as illegal land grabs that make it impossible for them to have their own independent country. Palestinians have to live with lots of restrictions. They can't even control their own border and can't even use their natural resources like water. The conflict has caused tremendous suffering for the civilians on both the sides. In Gaza, Palestinians have endured years of blockades, poverty and military attacks. Groups like the United Nations have tried their best to create a long-lasting peace between Israel and Palestine, but they can never agree on some major issues like the status of Jerusalem, Israeli security demand and the right of return for the Palestinian refugee. Due to this long-running conflict, younger generations who have never known peace are inheriting all the consequences. Generation after generation has grown up, knowing nothing but the harsh reality of conflicts. The choice remains to stay forever tied to histories that tear people apart, or to break free into a new reality that brings healing. Only then can be the true promise of this land be realized. In this ancient land, the path ahead is clear. Lay down the sword of enmity and embrace the olive branch of reconciliation. There is the promise of a future that both peoples can call home. Only then can the spilled blood stop soaking this sacred soil, and a new era of harmony and renewal truly begin.